Welcome back to Cityline. We are in our final fabulous segment. And with me right now is someone that has such passion and such charisma for what they do that I would be hard-pressed to think that they could work for any other company. I'm talking about Jake Welk. You are the marketing manager of LeMay, America's Car Museum. Welcome to this side of Cityline.
Thank you.
You have been in the green room before. We had your CEO, your executive director, and you were there making sure all of the information was perfect and all of the talking points. And I remember I thought, we need to have him on.
Yes.
And here you are.
Here I am.
Yay, Jake. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to talk about, first off, what has your journey been like working at America's Car Museum?
Yeah, I've been there a little over 4 years now.
Wow.
My first full-time job out of college.
You nailed it.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be in the position that I'm in. It's been a blessing, and I grew up in Tacoma, born and raised here. So I think to be working in my backyard where I grew up is really an incredible experience. So you mentioned I'm passionate about what I'm doing there.
Yeah.
And it's been a great time
You
working
have.
there so far.
So how has this year and the summer season fared for America's Car Museum so far? We were talking about that before we went live.
Yeah.
And it's a different ballgame out there.
It is, and it's been great. And like a lot of organizations, other organizations, it's been a slow climb back from the pandemic, as a lot of people have been impacted by it. But we've had a really exciting year this year with a lot of events, a lot of sellout crowds for things. This summer's been great with our drive-in movies, our cruise-ins. We hosted some large events out on our big grass field, the reggae festival, stuff like that. So people are excited, they're coming back out, and we're happy to be, hosting these big events and getting people excited again.
You had an event recently, I love the name of this, Cars and Cigars.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was great, and again, like our other events this year, a lot of excitement around it. We sold out, which is fantastic.
So how many people?
A little bit over 200.
Wow, okay.
Out on our plaza in front of the museum. And it's funny, people texting me, hey, what's going on? Because they drive by on the freeway and they see this big party going on. So,
they want to pull over.
Right. So yeah, it was, live music, cigar smoking, cocktails, just a great big party out on a Friday evening. And it was great. It was a great event for sure.
These are amazing pictures. Look at this. Okay, so the big question I have is, did people bring their own cigars, or did you furnish cigars, or was it a hybrid?
A hybrid.
Ah, okay,
so
there we go.
we provide cigars. Everybody who bought a ticket gets one with their ticket, and then they can get more at the event. But for the very, big cigar smokers, they bring out their own arsenal of what they have.
They bring out the box.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's always fun to see.
Well, it is, because it is part of the persona of cars. Mm-hmm. When LeMay first opened, I had the pleasure of walking through all the layers before the public came in, and I was just so blown away, and I could not name a favorite car.
Yeah.
Can you name one?
I do have one. It's tough. There's a lot, but my favorite car in the museum is a 1957 Ford Thunderbird. It's triple white, they call it, so it has white interior, white exterior, and white top. And for me, it's kind of reminds me of like cruising down like Hollywood Boulevard,
Yes.
California coast. And I don't know, I think that's a little bit of like a representation of
Yes.
myself. I'm a little more flamboyant and like dressing kind of fun, so I'm like, that's kind of a car that sort of, is a symbol of like myself a little bit,
I'm going to date myself and tell you that car looks like something that came out of a movie called American Graffiti.
Yep.
Yeah. So
exactly.
There we go. Before your time, but I'm glad that you know about it. So you have a new exhibit coming soon. What can you share about that?
We do. It has not been publicly advertised yet, but we are bringing in a new exhibit in October, and it's going to be about Corvette. So that's exciting. That's not been announced yet. So kind of the first. We're getting some information out soon. But yeah, it's going to be a Corvette exhibit. It's going to open in October, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to highlight some of the older models, some of the newer models. So there's going to be a lot of really cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be fast and exciting and
like Corvettes
energetic.
are.
Exactly. Yeah.
One of the things that you and your team do so well, Jake, is you don't just talk about a car. You talk about where that car was in time, in that history, in our city, how much a gallon of gas costs during that time. It's a marker of civilization. It's not just a beautiful work of art, which they are. Now, you talked about the motors and movies, and you're right. Driving by and being able to look at that, it's a distraction, but it's worth it.
Yes.
So what is that if people have not attended?
Yeah, so Motors and Movies is a free your traditional drive-in movie series. We do them in the summer. We have 4 movies. And actually, the next one's tomorrow night.
And there we go.
And so we do a big blow-up screen on our grass field. You can drive in and watch the movie from your car. We have local food trucks and concessions and other fun activities, lawn games, stuff like that. Completely free, no RSVP. It's just a big community event for people to come out and hang out. So we're doing Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs tomorrow with the Manic Meatball local food truck. So the perfect pairing. So yeah, come out and hang out with us tomorrow night for that one.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can we bring our collector car with us when we visit the museum? Can we pull up? We can?
Any of those events, like the movies, the cruise-ins, and then even just on a regular day when we're open, you can bring your collector car, and we encourage you to do that. And we actually will let you even park it up on the plaza in front of the museum with the big Wings logo that you see when you drive by.
Yes.
And we love when people bring out their car and show their passion, and that's their car.
Like this Jaguar right here.
The BMW, yes.
BMW.
Yes.
Oh, that's not a Jaguar.
BMW 507.
That thing is beautiful.
It is. It's very, very pretty. So that's kind of, a photo of where we would park your car, and people love taking photos of it, and it's kind of a special experience. So
leaning up against it like it's theirs,
right.
You bet. Which I think probably happens a lot at your gala. Your gala, Wheels and Heels, is coming up soon.
Correct.
September 9th?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, so you are
Very
within
soon.
that 30-day period. Tell our viewers, if they haven't been to it or they haven't heard about it, what they can expect.
Yeah, it's very extravagant. Actually, some people believe it's the best gala in town. Come find me. Come find me if you want to argue that. But yeah, it's a great event. It's a cocktail reception. It's a 3-course dinner done by El Gaucho Tacoma. We have a fireworks show at the end of the evening. We have a live and silent auction. We even auction off some vehicles, which is pretty special. So it's a big event. And if you haven't been before, we encourage you to come out. The supporters in that room are really the ones that help keep the passion and preserving things for the future and keeping our organization going, which is really something we're appreciative of.
When I think about that museum, it feels like to me that there's always something fun and exciting going on in that museum. You're constantly tapping into a pocket of history that has not happened before. As you do that, how do you handle the changes and additions to the curriculum or to just the inventory?
Yeah, one thing we're always trying to kind of expand and create new elements of the museum to bring more excitement. And one thing you mentioned earlier, it's not just about the vehicle, it's about the story, right?
Yep.
And one thing we are doing soon around the gala time is we're launching a new program called Stories Behind the Wheel. And it is going to highlight those stories about the cars in the collection. So it's not about necessarily the engine and the horsepower, it's more about the origin of the vehicle. And what's really going to be exciting for people is a lot of them are local stories. Harold and Nancy are a local family. And some of the cars they obtained are from people that are local, that they bought the car from, and it's really exciting. We're really excited to launch this program because I think people are going to come in and see that and say, wow, this is where the car was from originally, So
exactly.
It's going to be great.
I want to sign up for sibling stories.
Yes.
About what happens in the back seat of the wood panel station wagon.
Yep.
When you're driving from Florida to Virginia.
Yes.
And what you learn about your family. I'm all about that. Who do we need to thank in these last few minutes for all of the success, the elegance, and the education that LeMay America's Car Museum has given us?
Yeah, we have an incredible team back at the museum that works really hard behind the scenes, as well as a lot of really talented, loyal volunteers. We have an incredibly dedicated board of directors and just everybody locally and nationally and internationally that comes in and supports the museum, you know, buys admission tickets, comes to the events. You know, it's what keeps us going and keeps that passion going and allows us to continue to provide, you know, great programs and events for our community. So we're very grateful for everybody who's touched the museum in one way or another.
I love that. So once we get past the gala, give us a little tease. Is that when we're going to see stories from behind the wheel?
That
or are we
is.
going to just kind of, oh, it is?
You will see stories behind the wheel. Yes, we have one more cruise in on September 14th. And that's actually going to be a partnership with our local police department in Tacoma.
Nice.
So they're going to bring out some vintage police vehicles, and we're going to do that with them, which is going to be great. And then we've got that new exhibit coming in October. So we've got a few more things planned before the year's over. So
You do.
It's exciting stuff.
Thank you, Jake, for taking me seriously when I said I want you on the couch because you're amazing, and you are.
I appreciate that.
I'd love to have a check-in with you every 90 days so I know exactly what's going on over there.
We can do that.
All
keep you. I'll keep you updated.
It's a
Thank you
deal.
very much for having me. I
You're
appreciate the
welcome.
time.
You're welcome. Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It is always, and I mean always, a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We've given you some great things to think about in this past hour, so please go out there, be a part of the tapestry, and above all, pay it forward. And when you come back, as always, we'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline.
Tacoma is my home, place I call my own. Tacoma is my home, yeah, Tacoma is my home. Well, you're from the east end, how you're from Green Bay, how you're from Atlanta, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Well, you're from the east end, how you're from Green Bay, how you're from Atlanta, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home, from the pines to the dawn. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. All right, you're from the East Coast, all right, you're from the West, all right, you're from the middle, but Tacoma's still the best. All right, you're from the East Coast, all right, you're from the West, all right, you're from the middle, but Tacoma's still the best. Hey, Tacoma, that's my home, from the pines to the dawn. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, from the pines to the dawn. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, place I call